Hey there, review family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morris and welcome back to the metal Tempest, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review of the new Frozen Soul record entitled Glacial Domination. In the modern age of leeches and borderline mosquitoes that want to suck the very lifeblood out of the soul of OSDM by reviving it and carbon copying each other to where you pretty much hear the same thing every other death metal band, it's a refreshing thought when there is a band that can successfully pretty much toe the line between the modern and the classic. And Frozen Soul, without a doubt, have become one of the more household names in terms of death metal. They have blown up in quite a way that you rarely see from a lot of modern death metal bands. And you could say this is because of a variety of different reasons. When they released their first demo and some of their splits, they were building up hype, and then in 2021, they dropped their debut studio-length album with the backing of Century Media fucking Records' Crypt of Ice. This, in turn, built up even more hype. It got a lot of coverage from big reviewers and big publications, and put it on the map more and more. I would say that if you want a comparison with another band, Blood Incantation is a really apt comparison in terms of their sound, what they do, just minus the alien aesthetic. But I feel like Frozen Soul is actually very comparable to Blood Incantation. They blew up around the same time. It was with their debut album because it got so much, acclaim and buzz around it. But they are also similar because they play in a similar gimmicky style when it comes to their lyrics and their aesthetic. The Frozen Soul's lyrics and aesthetic usually surrounding cold, winter, sorrow, those depressive natured things that are linked to winter in the same way that Blood Incantation plays around with sci-fi and aliens. And it honestly is really fun. I thought Crypt of Ice was a pretty good record. I think it was a little overhyped in the same way that I thought Blood Incantation were when they burst on the scene, but I thought that the aesthetic and the way that they approached writing death metal was really fresh and really fun, even though it was paying homage to the old style. But on Glacial Domination, I think that they have successfully made my favorite death metal album of the year thus far. And I'm not going to sugarcoat the reasons why. I think that there is something to be said about really making a cohesive and simple record that is straight to the point, pulls no punches, and gives you exactly what you are wanting. This thing is 42 minutes long. It features a variety of different features like John Gallagher of Dying Fetus and Matt Heafy from Trivium, some really awesome features, and it's awesome to see these collaborations from other big bands, especially Matt Heafy from Trivium, because you wouldn't necessarily think that he would appear on a record like this. And of course they're playing into their lyrics and their aesthetic again of like the cold, but something about the way that this record is written is intoxicating. I felt like Crypt of Ice, while it was really focused in a lot of ways, it still felt like a band that was fleshing out their style and sort of finding themselves. But on Glacial Domination, not only does everything feel monstrous, but it is also simplistic in such a way that you can listen to this over and over and over. The replay value on this record is unparalleled when it is compared to other records that have released this year that I have really enjoyed, but I can only take in small dosages. There's nothing really experimental or boundary pushing about this record. It is full to the brim of amazing vocals, great mixing, pounding percussion, and buzzsaw riffs. It is so twisted up and the solos are fantastic. I also gotta commend the fact that the vocals on this record are just amazing. Chad Green has this like impeccable way of what I would call speak growling his lyrics in such a way where, like, obviously it's said that the more that you listen to metal, the more you're able to understand extreme vocals compared to when you first start, and obviously people that are more desensitized will be able to sort of understand what people are saying, but I literally did not really have to look up the lyrics with any of these tracks. They are so understandable when it comes to the vocals. Bless up, that is such a fucking rare quality in extreme music. I didn't step into this record having high expectations for them reinventing the wheel, and they didn't. They made a really tight, focused death metal record. The production works in tandem with everything to make it sound supremely organic. Nothing sounds too manufactured or polished, but there is a lot of intricacy put into the mix to make sure everything is not only balanced and audible, but cohesive when you put these tracks together. And like I said with replayability, it's what makes these tracks so catchy and surprisingly earwormy. It is actually insane just how many tracks here are just catchy. And honestly, I feel like even though death metal has a reputation of being, you know, grotesque and vile and evil and just trying to be as brutal as fucking possible, which a lot of bands, unfortunately, that's all they try to do, I think that if you look historically at the best bands in death metal and the best albums and the standout releases, they're the death metal records that also function as just listening experiences that are pleasant and good to listen to. I think that is captured perfectly on Glacial Domination, with a sound that is not only very gratifying to listen to, but still maintains its intensity and brutality within its simplicity. They do really walk this tightrope where the gritty sound of everything is very simplistic, and they kind of have this meat and bones sort of style to death metal, but there is enough complexity in the riff department to really keep you guessing on where they're going to go next. And of course, I have to mention the fact that I just love the incorporations of things like synth. The 59-second little interlude Annihilation is arguably one of my favorite parts of this record. I just love the way that they have these icy synths, and I know that's kind of like pun unintended and intended. They really do have, in a way that is hard to explain, a cold sound to them. It is sullen, it is sorrowful, but it is also just like screaming your head off, contained within this very bassy and dense style. And yeah, I just have so much satisfaction listening to this record. It's kind of what I said about Carcass's record Torn Arteries. Sometimes albums are good because they are just at face value, at their core good. You don't have to make a giant case of why they're good because you listen to them and they're just pleasing to the ears. They are interesting to listen to, and for the replayability, the songwriting, and them just fixing up all of the issues that I had with Crypt of Ice and fleshing their style out, only on their second studio-length album they feel like a fully realized band, and it's not hard to see why they are one of the biggest bands in death metal right now. They deserve that and so much more, and I just really enjoyed this record. It is easily, far and away, and nothing is even close, my favorite death metal record to release this year thus far. And for that, I'm going to be giving this album an 8.5 out of 10, and that is a wrap. Have you heard this new Frozen Soul record, Glacial Domination? If you have, let me know in the comment section below what you thought about it. I can't wait to discuss this record with you. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.